Hello, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all well. Now, a short while ago, we looked at that little JPC 12 portable antenna and we got it working on CB and it worked quite well. And I said to you there was a cheaper version, about half the price on Banggood, and I'd ordered that in. Well, it's turned up. However, I really hate to start a video on a down point, but unfortunately I'm going to have to on this one, because this is how the antenna turned up with the courier. And as you can see, it has split through the packaging. On this end we've got the telescopic part, which thankfully hasn't been damaged, even though it's quite clearly been dropped. But a little bit more worrying on this part, burst through here, is the M10 thread, which is how it's all going to fit together. And I can see, I don't know if that comes across, you can see on video that the thread is damaged. So this is about a £51 UK antenna, and this is not how to pack an antenna. Normally this would come in a cardboard, or better still, a plastic recyclable tube. It's it's rotten to start off on a bad note, but this is not acceptable. This is really not how you pack something and hope that it survives through the postal system, or in this case a private courier system. It's no disrespect to them, it's just the way it's been packed. So yeah, off to a little bit of a bad start, I'm afraid. But anyway, let's carry on. So this is what we get then inside the packaging. Obviously cost cutting at its extreme here. There's no setup guide, there's no manual or anything like that. So thankfully we learnt quite a lot on the first video. So here's the telescopic part, and yeah, I've got to say, you know, once I've got this out of the packaging, it's quite nice quality actually. There's nothing wrong with this. Thankfully it didn't get damaged. Well, saying that, hang on just a sec, give me a second. Not sure, I've got a feeling that, so I'm looking at this, and to me that looks like that is a final section there. You can feel but it's jammed solid, unfortunately. I think that's the result of the drop, because there was no protection. Now that may not affect me when I'm doing 11 metre work, but if you wanted this fully extended to go to 6 metres, yeah, that's definitely, that feels like that's definitely jammed on the top section there. That's a pity. All of the other sections feel pretty good. So there's nothing really wrong with the quality other than the packaging. As for the rest of it, well, yeah, it's not bad. This is obviously the bottom section here, and this is where the radials are going to come out, and we've got 4 drilled holes just above the SO239, and you get supplied with simple banana plugs, and then it's up to you to supply your own wire radials. Again, that's, you know, I mean, you can get these very, very cheap, £51. They could have supplied you with the correct length of radials. You're looking at possibly 2.5 metres. Seems a bit of a cheap out to me. Then we have the aluminium spike. This appears to be not coated in any lacquer or any electroplating. It does feel very light. I assume that's solid. I think the one on the JPC12, I think that was longer than this, but this should do the job. And this will go directly into the base here. Like so. Yeah, that fits absolutely fine. Then we have a single pole section. This is rather heavy actually. So this does feel like it's milled solid aluminium, and then this is the section where I think the thread might have been damaged in the drop. So I guess any way is to find out is to see if that will go in there. Okay, yeah, it was a bit of resistance there, but in fairness that has gone in, so we got away with that. That seems to have cut its own thread. Now, what we've learned on the last antenna, and it's a good job I had it because I've got no instructions, is that for 11 meters we're going to need approximately 102 inches from the base of the antenna. We will use a little vector VNA analyzer. But yeah, about 102 from the bottom is going to be the sweet spot. So yeah, very simple this antenna. Obviously, compared to the more expensive version, it doesn't compact down in length as small, and you don't get that really nice travel case. But it is half the price. You are saving half the price. Right, I need to have a little work at this to see if I can free this up. Okay, just by sliding something metal against this final part of the antenna, I have got it moving. So it looks like we've got away with it. And there you go, yeah, that's fully extended. So that was, yeah, we missed a bullet there. And that's purely because it was dropped in transit. And again, it's going to come down to the packaging. I'm going to have to put a little bit of silicone spray or something on that because it's quite stiff now. It's obviously not happy. There's obviously been a little bit of damage on the inside there. A bit unfortunate that. It's going to shadow the review, unfortunately. But anyway, we've got it working. So we can now go outside and set it up. Here we go for the setup stage then. As always in the UK in the winter, we're going to fight against the weather. It was sunshine earlier, but it's looking a bit cloudy. Last time I set one of these up, it actually ended up snowing. So hopefully that won't happen. So what we've got to do is we need to make some radial ground planes. Now unfortunately they don't supply you with any wire, which I think is a bit tight, to be perfectly honest. I've just got this plain wire here that I'm going to use. This is multi-strand wire. I think I bought a roll of this and then I've added to it, so there might be a couple of joins. That should be absolutely fine. I'm going to try 4 runs of 2 meters. And hopefully that will be enough. You could always put 2 strands in one of these outlets and you could spread it out, so you could have 8 different ground feed wires, so you could probably go up to 8 times 2 meters, or you could just go 4 times 3 meters, depending on how big your garden is. So okay, let's go ahead. I'll set this up, I'll run it forward on fast forward, and then we need to connect the nano and see if we can get the SWR down. That's the ground plane laid out. So I've gone 2 meters on this one, which is a lot less than the last antenna. It's not so much the length of the wire to get your SWR done, it's the amount of ground plane. So if this doesn't work, and it may not, I will put in another line and we have 8 times 2 meters, which is 16 in total. You can also use a few runs of chicken wire just across the ground there. It's all about the quantity of wire you're getting on the ground. So that's fine. So we now need to raise the antenna. Now, as a rough guide, I need to go about 102 inches from the 2.5 or 239 connector, I should say 239. So I need to go about 102 inches, and then we can use the nano. Now, as we wait for the seagulls to quieten down, another tip that I've learned speaking to very knowledgeable people on the radio is better to extend from the bottom first other than going from the top. This gives you a wider antenna. It also increases the bandwidth, gives you a little bit more capacity on the frequency. So we're going to extend from the bottom this time. So we're using the little nanometer. This is a very cheap one, sent in from Banggood. I think this was about £25 or something. You really do need one of these little cheap meters though when you're trying to work this out. And all you do is you just pull up and down the telescopic part. I've been doing about 2 inches at a time. It depends on the amount of ground plane you've put out as to what SWR you can achieve. I'm looking for anything less than 1.5. I've set the frequency to 305. Hopefully you can see that on the screen. And at the moment I've got an SWR of 1.53. So I'm going to try and get that down a little bit more. But 1.5 is usable. But if I can get that just a little bit more, if it means putting out more ground plane, I'm probably not going to do that today because I'm chasing the weather. I'll probably settle on it, but going to do a little bit more adjustment and see if we can improve on that. So I've been playing with it for a few minutes. I can get it down to 1.43, but it seems to have settled on 1.5. So I'm going to go on that. Once I connect the radio, of course, the length of coax will add to the ground plane as well. So on the radio, we might see hopefully 1.4. It's not ideal, but I think that will be usable for local communication. Now, once again, it's worth noting how small this antenna has turned out. I mean, that's the top of it there. Very, very short little stubby antenna. Could be used as a stealth antenna. With a little bit more ground plane, I think an ideal DXing antenna, because you're using skywave and the signal's going to come down. Now I'm going to try and use this for local contact, so I really need ground wave. Height is might when you're using ground wave, very low to the ground, but I should be able to get out 7-8 miles, something like that, and that's perfect for local DX. But the main thing is it's so stealth. I mean, I've got this set up in the garden. The neighbours, you wouldn't even know this antenna was here. So it could be a solution if you're just unable to put up a large antenna. Not everybody, and I appreciate, is able to put up a great big antenna on the side of their house. This is a solution, a temporary one maybe, but a solution for getting local contact. So right, the next thing I need to do is choose a radio. I think we'll try the CRT 6900. It's not too powerful, but has a nice sensitive receiver, and I think we need to set up and then hopefully wait and hopefully get a contact on the 27305 group. Here is my setup then. CRT 6900N. This radio is without the noise suppression system, which is a bit of a shame, but it will do the job. Power supply, I'm going to use this little toolbox power supply that I made a long time ago, and a few of you have asked about this. And I generally keep this in the shed because it's pretty much waterproof. What we got in here is just a little LED power supply unit. Some people say these can be a little bit dangerous. I've been using this one for a number of years now. You'd have to look back on the video. In fact, what I'll try and do, if I remember, I'll link the video to this at the end of the description. Oh, there you go, look, 2017. So nearly 8 years ago I built this. And it's been absolutely fine. It's been completely reliable. And I just don't trust the weather today, so it's a little bit damp. So going to be using that. Quick look on the radio itself. Looks like we're receiving. That's at maximum RF gain. Right, I think we need to set up properly and just check the SWR. Just going to do a test of the SWR now, standing wave ratio, using the radio. We're on FM because obviously on sideband there's no carrier wave. I'm expecting it to have dropped a little bit because that length of coax, so it's only very small as the antenna's just behind the radio, but it will add to the ground plane. So we're going to start off on low power. That is 1 watt on this radio, just to make sure we're safe. So watch the little meter there. You'll see it says 1 to 10, and there you go. And that's about 1.2 on low power. No warnings or anything. We're going to go up to half power. It's around about 20 watts thereabouts. Still holding at 1.2. Just under the 1.3, and now we go to full power on FM. That's approximately 40 watts on this radio, and still holding just 1.3, maybe 1.2. So that's absolutely safe. I'm more than happy with that, and I say it does seem to be that we're receiving. We're getting signals coming in there.
1124 North Ireland, 1124 North Ireland, 028, 028 Virginia trying. Yeah, okay, 1124, name here's David, still it's been a while since we've had a chance to talk. I'm working a bit different amplifier and radio. Just wondering, does the audio sound okay with this? Yeah, okay, well you're doing the same thing here. I was using this amp a couple weeks ago, and we just put a fresh set of tubes in it, just making sure that everything's working like it's supposed to. Loud and proud here in Kentucky. I got you anywhere from a 9 at the low and all the way up to a +20. You're sounding fantastic. Keep up the great work there. 73s and take care of it. This will be 225. We'll catch you on the next trip. We'll be on the side to listen.
Talking a little bit louder now into the microphone. Any improvement on the signal, Dan? Over.
The audio is better, but the signal's still 3 and 4. But the audio, yeah, I can understand what you're saying there, Fred. No problem. It's going through quite loud. But yeah, but it's you're still on top of there, Fred.
Yeah, I got you there. Yeah, I'm getting you this then. I'm getting quite a little bit of noise from this antenna because it's quite low. And I'm getting you on about a signal 5, I think, a signal 5 or 6.
Martin Lynch sent out another video, email with a video, and also Dave was on it, demonstrating.
That sounds good. Alright Dan, I'll catch you on the normal radio in a minute.
Okay, Fred, that's in a minute.
So that's Dan there in Hatfield, as we say, not too far, 5 or 6 miles, something like that. Now Dan's had a little bit of trouble with his antenna recently. He's had some coaxial problem, but his coaxial has become drenched basically in water and has got corroded. So he's on a temporary silver rod antenna. Making a trip, 3 or 4 signal is quite low. Now what I'm going to hopefully do, it's starting to rain now. Typical. I knew it would. Every time I set up a radio in the garden it bloody rains, but I'm hoping some other people will come on that are slightly got a slightly better setup, and I'll shoot back out here and we'll get another report. But we know the antenna's working, just a little low on the signal. Yeah, I got you there, Dan. A little bit quiet on this antenna, but yeah, I got a copy on you. So you're square wheeled now. Yeah, brake come in.
Hey.
Brake come in.
It's me, hello.
Hello, come in.
Yeah, it's Dave, mate. How you doing?
Hello, Dave. I'm in the garden at the moment, in the dark.
Oh, fair play. Yeah, it is a bit dark out there now, isn't it?
At least it ain't raining. Yeah, I'm on a little portable setup there, Dave, in the back garden with a little DX antenna, Roger.
Yeah, nice one. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're loud anyway, so it doesn't matter. You could use like a coat hanger and you'd be loud.
We are close together there. Yeah, I'm assuming your audio's okay. This thing's literally about 7 foot off the deck. One of those little telescopic jobs, yeah?
Yeah? No, it's the audio's absolutely fine and a cool little Roger bleep at the end.
Yeah, I noticed that switched on. Is that one of those ones?
Yeah, it's good. I like it. Cool. So you got the 17-foot one, yeah?
Well, I suppose it would go that high. Yeah. Basically, it's about. I suppose from the deck, it's about 7 foot. You've got a sort of a base pole, and then you've got the telescopic. Yeah, it's a bit like the Pac 12, Roger.
Yeah, Roger. I know there's a 25-foot telescopic available now. It's an absolute beast.
I don't know about putting one of those up. That would be quite a challenge. But this is so low. I mean, I'm surprised it works. It's literally 7 foot from the ground. It's amazing that it works.
Yeah, no, it's certainly working for you, mate. No, happy days. And is Dan picking you up all right?
Yeah, he was. So Dan is actually travelling to Potter's Bar. He's mobile at the moment. Give him a shout.
Yeah, Dan, you got a copy on this one? No, nothing heard, Fred.
Yeah, Dan, you got a copy?
Yeah, Roger. Can you hear me, Fred?
Yeah, I've got you. Let me see if I can turn this bleep off. Hang on. That's better. That was getting a little bit annoying there. Yeah, I got a copy on you, Dan.
Yeah, you come through, Roger. Yeah, I heard that today. I haven't seen you come through. Very loud.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I think you're improved as well, isn't it? I mean, I think you're sounding a little bit louder. You were sounding very nice when I was upstairs, Rog.
Oh, good. Can you hear me okay, Dave?
Yeah, Dave, you got a copy on Dan? He's giving you a shout, Rog.
Yeah, just about, Dan. Just got you there, over.
Oh, you must be stretching over the hill there.
So here's my setup. Not ideal, is it? It's starting to rain now. Everything's getting a little bit wet, so I've got to bring this one to a conclusion. And there's the antenna, and now it's got dark. I mean, what I'll say is that you really can't see it. If you were in a complete dark, if you wanted a stealth antenna, you didn't want to upset your neighbours or anything, this would be quite ideal. And there it is. What do I think of it? Well, the video didn't get off to a very good start, did it? Because I wasn't happy with the packaging, and I'm still not, to be honest. They need to put this in at least a cardboard tube to stop it getting damaged. I was very lucky that I received it and it wasn't further damaged. Having said that, now we've put it up and we've got it working. I mean, it does work. And there are some good points as well. Obviously the whip section here is very nicely made with a little brass bit on the bottom, and these banana plugs, although I still feel they should give you the cable included for the money, the banana plugs themselves are very nice quality. There's 2 separate screws in there and it's all brass, and they do go in really tight. And like I said, you could, if you wanted to, you could run another couple of wires out from each one. Very easy to do. And then that could increase your ground plane. You might get the ground plane down to 1.1. I got 1.45 or something like that. You saw on the radio though, because we're using the coax as well, that adds to the ground plane. The ground plane was a little bit low on the radio, about 1.3. So performance wise, it works. That's what I'll say. I mean, you heard USA coming in on lower sideband and on AM. No problem at all. Didn't try for a contact today. Conditions weren't all that strong. And then my local contacts with Dan there, especially when he was mobile in Potter's Bar, and then Awesome Dave. No problem in receiving my signal. So if you're in a situation where you just cannot put up a large antenna, this will get you out. Distance wise, I don't know. It depends on your terrain. If you're surrounded like I am by houses, you're not going to get that far on ground wave. I don't know, you might get 10 miles if you're lucky. In this situation I'm in, I'm probably going to get about 6 or 7 miles out of it. But again, if you're out in the open, you'd get further. So yeah, it all worked out. Half the price of the JPC 12 that I reviewed. That was a nice bit of kit though, because that folded down into very small sections. If you don't need to go DXing out on the hills, this one probably is a better option. It's half the price, and once you get it set up, it does the same job. Can't really complain at that. If you're interested in some of the other equipment I use, such as the little power supply down there that's getting wet, I'll leave a link to that, because that was a very cheap power supply. I think you can probably still build that for about £20. And also that little VNA Nano. You really do need one of those to tune the antenna. Again, they're quite cheap. I'll leave a link to a review on that. But I think that's really about it. There'll be a link to this in the description. As always, sometimes if I get a discount code, I'll put it in. But if not, I'll leave a link to the website anyway. And as always, thumbs up from Fred in the shed in a rather wet garden. Thank you for your view time. Do appreciate your views, small channel and all that. And yeah, please stay safe. And of course, I'll catch you on the next video. Cheers guys, thanks for tuning in.
Fred's in the shed where the magic unfolds. Fred in the shed with his trusty CB. He's a friend to the lonely on a frequency.